greatest enemy to humans is not Cybermen. It's not Daleks. It's plastic. Hello and welcome to Whovian Wednesday. Today we are talking about Series 12, Episode 6, Praxeus. As always, if you've not watched this episode, what are you doing? Go watch it and then come back because spoilers are ahead. Before this review starts, I would like to apologize. I know today is Friday and I normally post on Wednesday. However, I wanted to do another discussion review with my buddy Archivist. However, the way we both watched Doctor Who was not cooperating this week, and by the time we thought we had alignment in our schedules, it just didn't work out. However, he was nice enough to record a little segment of his own of a review for this video, and it will be played first, followed by mine, and next week we shall be back on Wednesday.
Is on tonight from an undisclosed location. Praxeus. Was it any good? What was going on? We'll talk about it all through tonight's Talking Point Memo. First, no subtlety for Chibnall. As always, microplastics. The real enemy today, and the stakes remain high. This series isn't safe. Now, going into Praxeus. Episode 6 of Series 12. I have to say, enjoyed the skillful connection between all the major plot points. Alien trying to solve a massive problem in the worst way. Where have we seen that before? Auton's name dropped. Wish we could actually get them in a proper plot again. Chris Chibnall remains political as always, but what else is new? Chris Chibnall has always been super political since he started his run on Doctor Who. From the beginning of Series 11 all the way up to now. I don't see that changing anytime soon, as the whole series has always been political. He's just a little more nail on the head. Strong thing for him, playing to his strengths. He's finally learning how to write stories where he can get nail on the head and still have fun. Very important. Very, very important in how I judge this entire season. I have to say, I'm just glad there's no Trump bashing this time. Back in Series 11, we had a character in Arachnids in the UK who was very, very clearly a Donald Trump analog. This year, we've just had the impeachment trial. Trump has been acquitted. Thankfully, Chris Chibnall has kept himself out of the discussion. We are solving problems this time. Orphan 55. I like to reference this episode when I'm talking about Praxeus, as in that episode we had a very, very, very strong environmentalist message of how we're destroying the planet. And we were left with very little hope, with Earth itself as a dead world, and all the humans have become mutants. Here, at the very least, we are getting a solution to the problem. And I'm going to talk Orphan 55. Let's face it, that episode was the weak holdover coming from Series 11. I could see it right from beginning to end. Orphan 55 had the very same structure and very safe, heavy on the political discussion, heavy on the environmentalist topics, very, very, very little actual story that we saw all the way from Woman Who Fell to Earth to the battle at Ranch Rav Karloff. I am convinced as of this point that episode was just carried over. From what I have seen coming from Spyfall all the way to here, we actually have stories being told, entertaining stories, thrilling stories that are keeping me on the edge of my seat as I continue to watch, and I assume will be keeping other people on the edges of their seats as well. With Praxeus, we have another environmentalist message, in this case, microplastics. Microplastics are what this alien virus has latched onto and what it's using to kill people. Nail on the head once again, because Chibnall cannot do subtle. However, at least this is a plot point that can be used to advance the story and ultimately come up with a solution. What is that solution? Hard science. Scientists have already been working on using modified viruses to help attack diseases that would otherwise prove fatal. This is incorporated very well into this plot line, skillfully so, and I have to applaud Chris Chibnall for that. I'm fair. I'm honest. You're not going to get spin here. When Chris Chibnall does something right, I'm going to say it. I'm going to openly admit it. He is doing something right this series. Overall, I think Series 12 is a much stronger series to boot. He's teaching something this year, much as they tried to do back in Season 1 of the classic series when Doctor Who was originally briefed as an educational science fiction drama series. This is the initial brief, alternating between pure historicals, where we were told about things that happened back in Earth's past, no sci-fi elements, no monsters, nothing beyond the TARDIS team being in a setting, and here's the events that happened. And science fiction episodes, which bantered into scientific theory. You could have the monsters, you could have the sci-fi elements, but it needed to be based in actual science. I feel like Chris Chibnall is actually doing a better job with this brief, especially with Series 12. And we saw it here with Praxeus. Research has been done with modifying pathogens to attack more deadly diseases. This is what's used to save the world. Now, obviously, being a television show, the time scale is not accurate. It takes months, if not years, to research new cures for new diseases, even with these sorts of treatments. Not 45 minutes. But then again, do we want to watch Praxeus play out over several years? I think not. I'm going to give the devil his due. I'm being entertained this year, and I think plenty of other fans are. There are the naysayers out there who are still upset that we got a female doctor. As of this point, we're 2 series in. If you don't like this doctor, stop watching the show. Nobody's going to get upset with you leaving. For myself, Archivist, I'm going to keep watching, and I'll be coming back with more no-spin analysis. Take care.
So, Praxeus, I didn't hate this episode. Now, to be fair, when I first saw the intro and realized we were talking about plastic, I felt like we were gonna get an Orphan 55 dupe on a different scale. However, out of the two, throw in your face, this is the Earth getting destroyed by humans, pollution of Orphan 55 or plastic of Praxeus. Praxeus did the better job. I mean, although it wasn't as subtle as Orphan 55 was, saying, oh no, this is Earth, I mean, it was given off the bat, especially with the 3 jumping locations of the opening sequence, getting to know the 3 different area people. We had the 2 girls Roman, we had the one guy of the gay couple, and then the 2 people Madagascar after we visit Hong Kong. But, I mean, 2 girls, let's start in Peru. 2 girls of Roman. That's where I realized this episode we were going to be talking about plastics when we go to the river and it's covered in plastic. Chip, no. You can be subtle in some stuff, but stuff like this, you are not subtle in. At all. Like, and it was just like weird, like, the one was like, let's not camp here, and the next thing we know, we're camping in a plastic field land. Although that could give us a I don't know the exact word I'm thinking of, depiction of what reality could be if we continue to use plastics, especially single-use plastic, since that stuff is the worst stuff to be able to try to recycle, because if you guys don't know, most of your plastics can't be recycled. Even though you might try to recycle them, people don't want to recycle them. Anyways, and then we find out in the next scene in Peru, when the one girl goes exploring trying to find her friend, that the TARDIS gang is all split up. We have Ryan with her in Peru. We had Yaz and Graham in Hong Kong. And then we have the Doctor in Madagascar. However, we knew that the situation of 3 different continents was going to happen because in the end of Fugitive of the Judoon, we have that scene after Graham's epic speech to the doc. She goes over to TARDIS when it's giving the signal. She's like, 3 different deaths in 3 different continents. I mean, Peru is South Africa? No, it's not South. We have Peru in South America, Madagascar, obviously Africa, and Hong Kong in Asia. And I will say, I actually like this splitting up. I think this is the first time we've really had Graham and Yaz together in my recalling memory, because it's usually either Graham and Doc, and Yaz and Ryan. And to see Ryan on his own, even though I felt like that one girl was going to try flirting with him, what is it when Ryan's alone? They try to flirt with him. I'm sorry. I don't like the romantic stuff happening right now. I like that, this season has been very lacking in romance. I'm not cold-hearted. That's what you're thinking. It's just, I like a good storytelling, and romance doesn't always have to be in it. Anyways, but, we have Graham and Yas in Hong Kong, finding this alien source. We have Adam there, and oh my god, Yas is not eye candy for once. She actually does something, and not like a little something. She goes and freaking tells the doctor, I want to stay back because I found something in alien and I want to go get it. And the doctor was like, no. And she was like, I want to go get it. You go, yes. For once you're doing something. Now keep it up. But it felt like we're finally getting a youth out of Yaz. And oh my god, it took a series and a half. It took a freaking episode about her family. If you know what I'm talking about, I was about to say Fugitive. Demons of Putajam. I mean, we kind of felt like she did something a spy phone when she was a reporter. But oh my god, the fact that we had Yaz on her own and Graham, Ryan, and Doc in another place was actually brilliant. Oh my gosh, Chipno, you're using Yaz. It's not, we're dragging Yaz as a puppy on a leash. She's dragging us to go chase a bird. That's a dog chasing a bird. But I do have a little issues. And that is the fact that I can't remember her name, but the girl who we meet in Madagascar, who turns out to be the person from a different planet. This is the third time Chibnall has used this thing. This person doesn't seem like who they are. We had O become Master. We had Ruth become the Doctor. And now this lady, who is not human but is a different species, the species that brought this virus to Earth, and microplastics. Like, out of the... Just like the whole fact... Like, I will give Chibnall props. He did not scream in our face as much as I think he could have with the whole plastic situation. Like, using microplastics, it's like, all this plastic pollution thing is real. Like the pollution. But I felt like once we figured out it was pollution in Orphan 55, we kind of got shoved in our face, especially at the end with the monologue from the doctor. You hear me? And now we have Praxeus with the whole plastic thing, like being a virus. And plastic, in a way, can be a virus just because it stays around for so long. Yeah, sometimes viruses don't stay around that long. But, I mean, it's serious stuff, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways. And then we had the bird. Oh my god, the bird scene. The birds are falling out of the sky. And the fact that Ryan thinks about picking up that bird and putting it in his backpack, it felt like Ryan, yes, actually had a little shine. Ryan had a little shine with the whole bird situation. And then Yas, like I said, was not eye candy, even though she still was. It was not an eye candy situation this episode. But, I mean, as far as that, and then we have this whole, the fires thing, the tooth thing, like, I don't know why, but for a second I thought we were getting a rendition of Tim Shaw back. Like, some, like, Tim Shaw thing, but, like, the whole thing when it's creeping up their face, covers their face, and then boom, they disappear. That stuff, especially when it's, like, half the face, is pretty wicked awesome. Like, it looked really cool. And, like, the whole thing with the hand and all of that. But yeah, overall, especially after the craziness of Fugitive and the Judoon, Praxeus was a really good episode to come after. Like, let's be honest, we're not gonna get something as crazy as Fugitive Judoon after Fugitive Judoon. But Praxeus was a very good episode to follow. And I'm kind of shocked. Not shocked really. I'm just a little bit surprised that nothing about the Ruth Doctor came back. I'm hoping that this is not something like that Chibnall just drops and then leaves. I hope he, like, at least in a different episode, or at least by the end of Jodie's time, figures out the whole thing and all that. But overall, this episode was good. And I thought it was very interesting that we have this doctor monologue over Earth. We don't really get too many episodes where our opening scene is like something and we just have the doctor talking like a monologue. Thank you to Archivist once again for joining me in this episode of Thank you again to Archivist for joining me in reviewing Praxeus. As always, let us know what you think about this episode. Leave a comment down below. And as always, if you liked this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more Doctor Who and Whovian Wednesday, because we are getting down to the last 4 episodes of Series 12. And the series, except for Orphan 55, has been amazing so far. And as always, until next time, have a good day.